find all of WNUR Sports' content in one convenient place.
Aha! Why, I know where. Skedaddle over to WNURsports.com, your online hub for everything WNUR Sports.
How bodacious! What might one encounter in this magical digital destination?
Updated broadcast schedules, social media posts, articles, and everything your heart desires. So head over to WNURsports.com and find happiness.
Yes. Ah. Yes. We are back for episode 4 of Obscure Ballers with some very special guests today and a very special episode. What a week we've had in the world of baseball today. Not just today, but in the last week. I mean, I feel like, honestly, like I lock in really around the last week of the season and like a highlight just grabs my attention and I am like dialed in for all of October.
I mean, maybe like another team from Ohio, perhaps, some would say.
We don't talk about the Columbus Crew on this show anymore. I don't even know who they are. Anyway,
the guards.
the guards.
And
That's
the Bears won today.
Hey,
I just want to shout that out.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So, we are here for a very special baseball-themed episode to commemorate, not really the chill in the air lately because it's been quite warm, but the arrival of a very special time of year, October, for postseason baseball. We are joined today with two very special guests, our first freshmen of the year.
Yeah, that's
So welcome to the station and welcome to probably the worst way to introduce WR Sports, Obscure Ballers. We have Sean Nam on the show and Jordan Balousek. Hopefully I got both of those right. Amazing. For what we were very excited to have, 3 great segments and a lot of phenomenal picks. A lot of prep went into this show. So we're very excited to get right into this with Obscure Ballers of the Week. This, like always, is your chance to highlight a relatively unknown sports person. Could be a player, coach, anyone who made a name for themselves in the world of sports that week. And for my pick, kind of putting in a last-minute pick, is the 2025 Colorado Rockies. And now, a lot of headlines were made in the Rockies-Mariners series for Cal Raleigh hitting his 60th home run. Yeah. A lot, obviously very historic for the Mariners. But the Rockies go into this game in the basement of the MLB, dressed up as fishermen. And one of their players goes dressed up as the fish. And you know what? What is more poetic in a world where in an MLB landscape where everyone was fighting for a position in the playoffs except for the Rockies? Why not just have a little fun? So I just wanted to spotlight the other side of the playoff hunt that doesn't really get much talk at the end of the year.
And Sid, my Obscure Ball of the Week is actually very similar. It's also part of the Seattle Mariners, not the Rockies, but within the same vein as the Mariners, and also within the same vein as fish. My Obscure Baller of the Week is King Salmon. I'm not sure if you guys know what the salmon run is, but every game at the Seattle Mariners, they have like a race between King, Sockeye, Silver, Humpy, your favorites. And then King Salmon.
So real celebrities in the Seattle area.
Right. And
I have a Humpy bobblehead.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey.
And a Humpy stuffed animal on my bed currently.
So Humpy's like your favorite.
Humpy is the favorite of, I think, the
And a favorite of the show.
entirety of the Mariners organization. He has 0 wins in his lifetime, but he'll get there eventually.
We're pulling for you, Humpy.
My uncle is a big King Salmon guy. And King Salmon is literally a King Salmon. He loves King Felix, and he won the final race of the year today, although the Mariners lost to the Dodgers. But anyways, I would now like to throw it over to our 2 freshmen on the show today, which, by the way, this is the first time that any freshman will go on air this year.
Oh, yes. This
So-
is very true.
Yeah, very
pressure.
momentous occasion. Very momentous occasion, but go ahead.
Just like to say before we start, I am a Dodgers fan. Very happy about that win today.
As a Mariners fan, we watched a little bit together,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit upset.
Yeah. My Obscure Baller of the Week is Jacob Young, a 26-year-old center fielder for the Washington Nationals. Just a little background, he made his debut in 2023. He's never been a great hitter, like mid-600s OPS, but really good defense, 14 outs above average, which is ranked 98th percentile among qualified outfielders. And he runs really fast, 29.3 feet per second, which is in the 94th percentile. So it went viral this week because I don't know if you guys saw, he made that crazy catch in a game against the Mets. It's like a week or so ago. Um, there's Brett Beatty hit a nice fastball up the middle to center field. Like there was a play to be made, and like probably in any other circumstance he would just caught it normally. But he hits the wall, ball comes out of his glove, so he sees it falling. And instead of just letting it drop, just do a little like soccer move, and he managed to kick it right back up to him, and he catches it.
Wow.
Broadcasters go crazy. The pitcher was Jake Irvin, and he's going crazy. Brett Beatty can't believe it. And it gets 50,000 likes on the BR account on X, and then 258,000 likes on the BR Instagram page. So speaking of viral players, Jacob Young,
Yeah.
kudos to him.
All right, so I've got a player that definitely has not gone viral anytime recently, and he probably won't be. His name is the main reason why he's gone viral. His name is Ichiro Kano Hernandez, and so for many people that might not mean anything. For me, a diehard Mariners fan, that means a lot. So he is a 20-year-old switch hitting third baseman. He's in the Reds minor league organization, and he was signed out of Mexico. Now he's pretty far buried in the organization. You can't really find his stats online anywhere, but again, his stats aren't the reason he's going viral. His name is. So his name references 3 iconic Mariners players, Ichiro Suzuki, Robinson Cano, and Felix Hernandez. Ichiro obviously was inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame this year, so most people have heard of him. Robinson Cano currently plays in the Mexican League, but was playing with the Mariners for a while in the 2010s. He was also banned multiple times for PED violations, so you may know him for that.
Ooh.
And then Felix Hernandez, most people know him as well. He's in the Mariners Hall of Fame, won the AL Cy Young in 2010, and had an electric perfect game, which I also have a bobblehead of in my room. Big bobblehead girl.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, just wanted to highlight Ichiro Kano Hernandez, who, again, is Mexican but was named after his father's Japanese friend. I don't know if he'll ever make it to the big leagues, but his name is kind of foreshadowing that.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Arsenal used to have a Russian soccer player named Arshavin who scored 4 goals for Arsenal in one game.
Wow.
Really good. But there was a tweet like years later. It was like, "Sorry, men take this soccer thing too seriously. There's a boy in my first grade class called Arshavin." So, great. I mean, I love how many Jalen's out there are
Yeah.
named after random basketball
Right.
players?
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Yeah.
But we'll now move on to our deep dive. So this is our second segment of this show. So the deep dive is basically the opportunity to go in depth on any sports topic at all, and it can literally be anything. So we know that Sean and Jordan, you guys have cooked something up for us today in the
A
world
feast,
of baseball.
truly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Take it away.
So we're both Korean, me full, Jordan half, and believe it or not, Jordan here is a Mariners fan. And there aren't that many players in MLB history that are Korean, much less Korean and a Mariner. But there is at least one, and one very lovable player, and that's who our deep dive is on today. His name is Dae-ho Lee, or in Korean, Lee Dae-ho. And he was born in Busan, Korea, which is towards the south on the coast. He had a pretty rough start to his life. His father died when he was 3, and he was raised by his grandmother, who also died when he was in 2nd grade. So, with all that tragedy in his life, like for a lot of athletes, he turned his life to sports. For him, baseball. He was selected by the Lotte Giants. They're located in Busan as well, as a pitcher, and he ends up switching to first base after an injury to his throwing shoulder. Debuts in 2001. He just played 9 games or so, but he did hit 500, so there was some promise to him. He had like 2 more years where he batted okay, like 792 OPS one year, 689 OPS another year. Very little power though, never passed 10 home runs. He had a bit of a weight issue. His managers did not love that. He ends up getting the nickname Big Boy. Kind of
Ooh.
sticks with him for the rest of his career.
Dang.
Ooh.
Yeah. But in 2004, his career really takes off. Hits 20 home runs and a 772 OPS, and does even better in 2005. Hits 21 home runs, 266 average, and he makes his first All-Star game, and he wins the MVP of that game. From 2006 on, it's when he really starts to pick up his career, until he moves to the NPB, which is the Japanese Professional League. In 2012, he never bats below 878 for his OPS, and he goes as high as a 1111 OPS with 44 home runs in 2010. He wins the MVP that year. And then also he was instrumental for Korea in the WBC, which is the World Baseball Classic, and the Olympics. He helped Korea win gold in the 2008 Olympic Games and silver in the 2009 WBC.
Dang.
Yep.
Wow.
In 2012, he ends up going to the NPB, which is the Nippon Professional Baseball League. A lot of Korean players end up doing that. They'll play really well in Korea, then they'll go to Japan, and if they play really well in Japan, that's when they go to the pros, at least traditionally. And he ends up playing pretty well in Japan. He hits 24 bombs and an 846 OPS his first year in 2012. And then after 2 seasons, he originally signed with the Oryx Buffaloes, and he ends up signing with the SoftBank Hawks in 2014. And in 2015, he wins the like Japan equivalent of the World Series. They call it the Japan Series, and he wins the MVP of that, and his team wins in 5 games.
All right. And so after that, Dae-Ho Lee decided to come over to the MLB in 2016, where he was a one-season wonder, but he's still beloved by many Mariners fans. So he started off his career strong. His first MLB hit was a home run, which is what everyone dreams of. And according to an MLB.com article, he was batting over 300 by mid-June, which is pretty good. However, it all started going downhill after that. So according to the same article, he finished the season with a 223 batting average over his final 3.5 months, which is not great. In total, he played 104 games in his MLB career. And so even though he had some less than astounding numbers, he was absolutely beloved in the clubhouse, and he kind of became an urban legend in the Seattle sports world. So from everything that's been reported about him, it's pretty clear he was a clubhouse character. He was beloved by his teammates. Kind of piggybacking off what Sean was saying earlier, in America, he earned the nickname the Polar Bear due to his stature, which was 6'4" and almost 300 pounds.
What is a polar bear doing in Seattle?
Exactly. So not surprisingly, he did not have any stolen bases during his tenure with the Mariners through his 104 games. He also did not officially qualify, but his Baseball Savant page has him solidly in the poor percentile for base running value.
Oh, give
on
the man a break, man.
On a more positive personal level, me and my family were obsessed with Dae-Ho Lee. They'll be happy that I'm mentioning him. So as Sean was kind of touching on, there have only been 29 players from South Korea in the MLB, and that includes 7 current ones, including Jung-Hoo Lee, who I feel like most people know, especially if you're following the Giants this season. But Dae-Ho Lee is the only Korean who ever played for the Mariners in my lifetime, even though there were 2 previous. And he was definitely my favorite player of the 2016 campaign. The Mariners in 2016 weren't that bad. I've definitely seen some worse Mariners teams. I've seen a lot of bad Mariners teams in my lifetime. But me and my family did try to write him into the All-Star game multiple times. He did not end up on the ballot. It wasn't like a John Scott NHL situation, but we did write him in anyways just for the fun memories he brought. And so, as most people know, there was a pretty long Mariners playoff drought, 2001 to 2022. Kind of a rough time for most Mariners fans. There wasn't a lot to cheer for. But honestly, some of the cult legend kind of status Mariners made those years way more bearable, and Dae-Ho Lee was definitely that for me. And then going back to Sean, he did eventually decide to return to Korea because he wanted more playing time and more money. And his 4-year, well, 4 billion would be a lot, but 15 billion South Korean won contract upon his return made him the highest paid athlete in Korea at the time.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So he returns in 2017, and although he was like maybe a little bit washed in the MLB, he was not washed in KBO. He has multiple really good seasons of like over 30 home runs, 900 OPS. He actually like never really drops off. So he retires in 2022, but he still has like an high 800s OPS at the time. And he made 10 All-Star games in Korea, which is a league record. And his last one was the year he retired in 2022. Like Jordan was mentioning, he was a legend both in Korea and he is still a legend, sorry, in Korea and in America for his infectious personality and for a bit of like an added reason to be a legend in Korea. As I mentioned, he signed for the Lotte Giants in Busan, and he also grew up in Busan. He ends up playing for the Giants his whole career, which is about 17 years in KBO. He's kind of like Kobe Bryant in the sense that like starts off with the team and he just stays for the rest of his career, and he's kind of like the hometown kid. So he's like really respected in Korea, still is to this day. He also was like notably free from a lot of scandals during his playing career.
I mean, it's crazy how like in Korea he's like a national hero, beloved by all. I mean,
Absolutely.
same in Seattle, but like he does have the nickname Big Boy.
Kind
Like,
of a rough
and
look.
I imagine like it's got to be tough as like a guy in like I guess the Mariners GM, right? And like you have a guy who's underperforming, like everyone loves him, and like he like it's interesting the scouting between countries, right?
Yeah,
As
actually, to go
always.
off of that, um, so you see the Korean players in MLB right now. They're not like the prototype of player that Dae-Ho Lee was.
Really?
The players right now, they're all fast, great contact hitters, great at defense. So we
Yeah.
got like Jung-Hoo Lee on the
Who's
Giants.
tiny.
Yeah, they don't
Probably half the size of Dae-Ho.
Yeah, little boy.
Yeah, little boy.
You got like Jung-Hoo Lee on the Giants, and then Kae-Sung Kim on the Dodgers, Ha-Sung Kim on the Braves. Like they got pop. I'm not saying they can't hit home runs, but like they're really known in baseball right now as like speedy defense contact guys.
Yeah.
And so what I think like managers, like GMs in baseball found out is that like these power hitters in the KBO can hit like 40 plus home runs. It won't translate to MLB. And then part of the reason for that is like the KBO just throws slower. Their average velo is like in the low 90s. MLB right now is at 95. So there's like this gap that if you're a contact hitter, you can maybe make up. But if you're a power hitter where there's already swing and miss in your game, it's just not as likely to translate.
Yeah. Crazy.
Well, and as a half Korean myself, I must say, so my uncle, Gene Lee, diehard Cubs fan, but he currently works for the Seattle Mariners.
Oh, wow.
So he lives in Seattle, works at T-Mobile Park all the time, and no, like that's just really cool to see, because there just aren't that many Korean players, right? Like consistently in the MLB, despite Korea being such a huge like baseball nation. So to see a player like that, and especially in a community like Seattle where they really rally around that team, like the people love the Mariners. Like
Can't
I've
confirm.
I've gone a couple like I'm a Cubs fan, but I've gone a couple times and like it really is heartwarming to see like just how much people love a team despite. I mean, it almost feels kind of like the Cubs,
Yeah.
the lovable losers in a way, where it's like no matter what, people will show up. They'll show out. They love their team. And it's paid off because the Mariners have won the American West, all right, division champs. So with 90 wins. So yeah, it's nice to see a fan base like that get rewarded.
Well, here's my question. Do you think the Mariners going into the playoffs now? Do you think they miss Dae-Ho Lee?
I
If they brought him back.
I think in terms of getting a nice, good two outcome hitter, I think Cal Raleigh is definitely who you're going to choose over Dae-Ho Lee. So I would say we're at a net positive for the Dae-Ho Lee days.
Are there like good clubhouse guys in the Mariners so far? Like I know
Oh,
that, like
yeah.
I know the players, but I don't know like all their personalities and stuff
You've
over
got-
there.
Cal is a really good clubhouse guy. Julio, got JP Crawford too. And now we've got Josh Naylor and Gino Suarez is back. I'm super excited. I'm flying home next weekend to go watch some of the games.
Great.
So
Yeah,
couldn't
J-Rod,
be happier.
Big Dumper, one of my
Big
favorite.
Dumper.
New
nicknames.
nickname.
One of my favorite
the
nicknames.
White Dae-Ho Lee.
I like that.
That's valid.
Big
That's
Dumper's
valid.
I think he's still got a couple, maybe 70 pounds left. Maybe not deserving of puller yet.
Oh wait, so you're saying Dae-Ho Lee 70 pounds on Cal Raleigh?
Let me see. Dae-Ho Lee is
I mean, is this his current? or
290 pounds.
as of now?
That's a
Or
bit.
like
No, his
during
playing
his
career.
career?
I think
His
that was
playing
playing
career.
career.
Okay.
Cal Raleigh is 235.
He's big. Like
Cal Raleigh's big, but
So you're saying the nickname of Big Dumper is not earned?
I think it is earned.
well,
because
it's
I
just
think
where the weight
it's
is
where
at.
the weight
You
is
get
at.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Regardless, both great players in their own
Yes.
respects. Legends of the game. But
I know Cal Raleigh has posters of Dae-Ho Lee in his back.
He must. Unless he did.
but we will move on to our obscure game. So this week's obscure game is the unks of the MLB, or really any diamond sport in general. But we just want to, present or talk about an unk from a diamond sport that has caught your attention. It could be anyone involved with the sport that has considerable longevity and an interesting story. So who wants to take it away?
I'll take this one.
Sure.
So it's a pretty famous unk right here, but my unk is Clayton Kershaw, who is retiring at the end of this year. So I feel like that's pretty unk right there.
Mhm.
He announced that he'd be retiring on September 18th after 18 seasons in the big leagues. Everyone knows how good he is. I'm just to read off a few stats here. Career 2.53 ERA, more than 3,000 strikeouts, 2 times World Series champs. Like undoubtedly an inner circle Hall of Famer. I guess his only blemish is like his postseason stats. Even those, like if you look at the context, he performed really well during the playoffs. So the two ones that people bring up the most are in 2014, 2017. In 2014, it was the NLDS against the Cardinals where he collapsed. But if you look at the box score, the then manager Don Mattingly, like he just kept him out there, kept him pitching. So he was great until that last inning. There's one inning, game one of the NLDS, he gives up 8. The team gives up 8 runs in one inning. Part of that's due to Kershaw. And obviously, 2017, you got the banging situation. His one bad start in the World Series is in Houston. In LA, 11 innings, 1 run, 15 Ks. So I don't know how much you can say that was
He's
his
an obscure
fault.
baller outside of LA.
Yeah.
Outside of the city of Los
Yeah,
Angeles,
outside
he's an
of
unknown.
But pitched really well this year. Had his last start today. It's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what role he has in the postseason, if at all. He pitched in the bullpen once in the regular season. He's done that before, so maybe that's where we'll see him. Maybe not. But yeah, just want to say congrats to Clayton Kershaw on a great career.
Awesome.
He's got a chance for postseason redemption, I suppose, this season. Someone who doesn't is going to be another beloved Mariner for me, Casey Lawrence. Casey is 37 years old. He was born in Pennsylvania. He's a 6-foot righty reliever, and he was decent in college. He had a 2.81 ERA, over 256 innings. However, he's not a great player nowadays, which is why I'm highlighting him here. So he made his MLB debut in April in 2017. However, he was DFA'd a month later after he had only pitched 13 and a third innings, and he was claimed off the waivers on May 11th by Mariners. And this began a long series of buyouts, releases, and minor league contracts. Here's just a rapid fire list of the teams he's been on since then in order: the Blue Jays, the Hiroshima Toyo Carp, the Twins, Blue Jays, Cardinals, Mariners, Blue Jays, and Mariners again, which is the organization he's currently in. And the reason that he's been making headlines this season, even though very marginal, very localized Seattle sport headlines, is that he has been DFA'd and re-signed 5 times this season by the Mariners alone.
So it's basically just passing him around.
They are basically just baiting and switching him over and over and over again. And they're doing this to have more room and flexibility on their 40-man roster. And it's possible to do it because the Mariners' highest minor league affiliate is the Tacoma Rainiers, which is less than an hour away.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure that the Mariners have talked to him and came up with an agreement about this. But he has been DFA'd 5 times. Sure, that must be rough on his family. He has multiple kids.
Yeah.
And he's been doing okay for the Mariners. He has a 3.0 ERA.
When he isn't moving house.
Yeah. He does have a negative 0.4 wins above replacement and a 1.4 whip. So those are some less than stellar stats.
Well, I mean, they've been replacing him off.
Yeah, they have.
True journeyman,
Yes, a true journeyman. His most recent DFA was June 9th of this year. And after he signed that minor league contract, he's just been in the minors ever since. I do not think we'll be seeing him in the postseason, if I'd hazard a guess.
Mount Rainier mentioned.
Yeah.
I love that national park.
Never been.
Amazing.
I've actually never. Well, I've been to Seattle over summer.
Yes,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
AJ.
yeah. Shout out AJ.
But,
Anyway,
please go ahead.
so I was tossing around. My inspiration for this segment was Adam Wainwright. Because I was born in the St. Louis area and I grew up when the Cards were good, you know. And Adam Wainwright was the center of that. I live in Ohio now. Allegiance has changed. I grew up. But I went a different direction than Adam Wainwright, in keeping with the Asian Americans in baseball. Wait, give me one sec. Yes, I will be going with Wally Yonamine. Born June 24th, 1925 in the Hawaii Territory.
That's really
Yeah.
Died in 2011. A legend. The New York Times wrote an obituary about him. He's inducted in the Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame. He had a pretty short 11-year career in Nippon baseball, but only because he was up to like 800 other things on the side. So he started out signing a $14,000 contract to play running back with the San Francisco 49ers in 1947.
Oh, wow.
He became the first football player of Japanese American ancestry to play professional football. It ended during the offseason, etc. He had aggressive base running in Nippon baseball, I think he was a switch hitter. He was a four-time Japan Series champion, 1951, 52, 53, and 55. 8-time NPB All-Star. And I mean, really just paved the way for Japanese Americans in the world of baseball, so I'm told. And also operated a highly successful pearl store, Wally Onomine Pearl,
Wow.
with his wife Jane in Tokyo.
Aw.
They also had a
Really
branch
cute.
in California run by their children. So, in 2008, he ended up joining a Japan Series team as a part-time coach player. And his grandson is now, he was selected by the Phillies in the 29th round of the 2019 MLB draft. And he's currently a development player in Japan.
All right. Lightning quick for my unk. So this unk, Mordecai Three Finger Brown. Mordecai Three Finger Brown. He had 3 fingers on his right hand due to a farming machinery accident in his youth. He was born in 1876.
Oh, wow.
Checks out.
Okay. He was selected to the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1949 as a part of the Old Timers Committee. He was an old timer
my
in
God.
1949. He won 2 World Series with the Chicago Cubs, and remember that he had 3 fingers on his hand.
Wow.
So he used that in his pitching ability to form an exceptional curveball or a knuckle curve, and they called it the twirling hand. His pitching hand, that is.
Why
But
not?
anyways,
Why
that's
not?
Mordecai Three Finger Brown, my GOAT, multiple World Series champion with the Chicago Cubs. But that'll do it for today. So thank you so much.
Truly a phenomenal episode, guys.
Yes,
Thanks for having us,
fantastic.
guys.
Thank you for
Fantastic
having
So
us.
amazing to have you
episode.
guys on. We will send it to Sports Voice.
No,
or
to her take. To her take.
I got to remember what shows we have on the Sports Voice.
Yes.
Tune in to Her Take, 7:30 to 8. They'll be filling in quite shortly here.
So
and
thank
we
you.
will be back next week, same time, same place, 7 o'clock in the OACR on YouTube and 89.3 FM.
Absolutely. So thank you to Sean. Thank you to Jordan for going on the show with us today. I'm Tomas Moran.
I'm Sid Sivaraman.
Stay obscure.